All right, so we're going to start by going over number 7 to help you as you're preparing for your benchmark exam. The first thing number 7 is asking us to do is to rotate this quadrilateral. And when we rotate, we have a lot of information. So we're going to go 130 degrees counterclockwise and around point B. So there's a lot going on there. Let's make sure we understand each part. So around point B means B is the center of rotation. That means B is not going to move. All right, 130 degrees counterclockwise means this shape should end up over here somewhere because I'm rotating it against the way a clock moves. So the first point I'm going to move is point A. So I'll do this first one kind of slow before I do the next few a little faster. So point B to A. Notice how the whole of my protractor is on B right here. And then I'm in line with point A. I'm pointing to point A. So that's how I know I'm finding point A. I'm also moving in a counterclockwise motion. That's why my protractor is upside down. So I'm going to go over here. If A is at 0, that means I'm going to use the bottom numbers. And so I'm going to go to 130, make a little mark at 130. Then from 130, from that mark, I'm going to draw a line to B. So that means A prime is somewhere on that line. To find out exactly where, I go to my compass. And I measure B to A because A prime is going to be equidistant from B. So there's A prime. Now what I recommend is that now you erase all those lines except for A prime because they'll only confuse you. Okay, let's do the rest kind of quick. So now I'm in line with B and C, so I'm finding C. Gonna make my 130 mark again. Gonna draw my line to B, and now I'm gonna measure from B to C, swing it around. So C prime is right there. So now I just need D prime. So here I am over here again, C to D. Excuse me, B to D, my fault. And then making my mark at 130. Now I'm going to measure from D to B and swing it around. And there is D prime. All right, so my final step here is to connect all the dots. And keep in mind that B prime is still on my original shape. It's just underneath where B was. So B prime is under there. I just didn't have to move it because it was the center of rotation. Okay, next step here. Now I'm going to reflect over line EF. So now I'm going to take each part of this and reflect it to the other side of EF. So to reflect something, we line up on my needles on one end of the bisector, and I'm moving point D prime right now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little arc on the other side. And then I'm going to do the same thing, but now I'm going to start at E instead of F. So I end up going to both ends of the line of reflection. So here I'm at the other end, I'm at E and D, and now I've got my mark down there. So that's going to be a series of steps that I repeat now. There's D double prime. All right, so I'm going to work through these a little quicker now that I've shown you one way. So here's A. E to B, F to B, Okay, so now we just need C double prime. So we're going to go F to C. And then E to C. All right, connect all our dots here. And when you're doing this, make sure you're only connecting what actually connects in the original shape. So like I wouldn't connect A and C here because those don't actually connect in the original. All right, so far I've done my rotation and my reflection. So now my last step here is the translation. And my translations are always guided by the vector. So since it's a long vector GH, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to kind of combine steps here. I'm going to draw that vector from every single point. So I'm doing it from D, from C, from B, and from A. So all my 4 new points, my final 4 points, they're going to show up somewhere on those arcs. So let's do A first. To find out where A triple prime is, I'm going to go from G to A double prime, and then pick my compass up and move it. Let me show you that step again. That's the key step. So measure from G to A double prime, that's the beginning of the vector. Then slide it down here and move to the end of the vector. That same distance is where I want to be. All right, let's use new color. So there's A triple prime. All right, now we're going to do the same thing for D. So there's G to D double prime. Move it on down to the end of the vector. H. Okay, now we need B. B, move on down to H. And then finally C. Oops. G to C. And move it on down to H. All right. So we end up with a translated shape here that's just above the instructions for the next problem. And that, in a very quick way, is how to do all 3 rigid motions we've learned. So you should end up with these 3 quadrilaterals that we've drawn. And as for what is the relationship between the original and the final one, I'll leave that one up to you. But use this video as a reference while you're studying for your benchmark. All right, thank you.